design is because...
Okay, this is a bump valve engine for overview.
This is a bump valve engine that's half of a 200 cubic inch Mustang engine. And the startup valve is basically a rotary valve, and your problem with a rotary valve, because it's a rotary disc with a slot cut in it, your problem is your steam pressure pushes against that and it'll wear too much. And so what Smith did is he made two different size shafts so that the area of the one shaft was equal to the area of this slot so that it was more or less balanced so it didn't wear out. So it's a genius design. See, this is one of his Mercury outboard engines, which has the bump valves, which are right here where the spark plugs were, is where the bump valves are, which uses a ball bearing for the little bump thing. But then the rotary valve, which is right here, and that's essentially the same thing that was on that Mustang engine, is right there. Now here, for example, is one with a different rotary valve, and this does not have a bump valve. This only has a rotary valve. Now rotary valves, everybody will tell you that rotary valves do not work, including me. But Carl Peterson says they do work. And here is a Richard Smith, well no, this is a Vkvckvkkv rotary valve. And what you have is you have three parts. You have the housing, which has the holes in it that go to feed the steam. You have the rotary part in the middle. The steam comes into the middle of this, and it gets distributed through these four holes. This thing goes around. Every time it goes around, the steam comes out of these holes and goes into here, and well, there's two sets of holes. One is exhaust, one is intake, and tells it what to do. Well, then you have timing. So this fits in here. So this is rotating all the time. This part here slides back and forth like that, and it changes the timing as these slots line up with the holes in here. And so you can go frontwards, backwards, slow and fast. And so that's a Richard Smith rotary valve, and that White Cliffs or whatever project in Australia, I think, because Graham Vague was on that, I think it used that. Well, the general rule on rotary valves is they don't work. So if you just assume they don't work, you'll be a lot better off. So most people, when they want to start a bump valve, they just get the old pull start thing and they just give a yank and they start it turning the right direction and away it goes. Or they use an electric motor. In the Volkswagen, they just put the electric starter motor on it. That the Volkswagen always had an electric starter motor, and you just crank it to start it just like you start a regular car engine.
And then you don't need the rotary valve for start?
Correct. Then you don't need the rotary valve. Your problem with a bump valve is it'll run backwards as well as it'll run frontwards. And if you ever get stopped on top of a hill and you start to roll backwards and you let the clutch out, you will merely go backwards faster. So there's a little bit of a hazard when you're driving a bump valve in a car. There's a lot of opportunities for error. There's always details.
Yeah. Would you say that the bump valve engine would be the simplest engine to make, or?
No, it's by far the simplest because the piston is the valve timer.
Is the valve, yeah.
The piston is the valve.
Yeah.
Now, people who like a bump valve, like Jay Carter, The real reason you want a bump valve is it has very, very short cutoff, 3 to 5% cutoff, so you get a 20 to 30 times expansion of the steam. And so it's the most efficient because it's really hard to get a cam to open and close a poppet valve that quick. Just because of the inertia of the. Well, you can't make that little bump on the cam. You can't make the cam lobe small enough to bump it up and down quick enough.
Okay. Yeah.